Welcome to the channel. I'm glad that you could make it. Last time we had run out of acetylene, so I went all over looking for acetylene. Funny story, I found a place to get my acetylene and I came carrying in the acetylene tank on my shoulder. And the guy said to me, "Wow, you must go to the gym." And I said, "I don't go to the gym, I split wood." And he said, "With a hydraulic splitter?" I said, "No, by hand." He took that as me splitting it by hand, not with an axe or a maul. So while I get this all brazed up and ground down, and we'll get that all finished up, and then I'll show you the finished product, let me give you a little compilation of me splitting wood by hand. Man, splitting wood by hand is tiresome. And remember, always wear gloves. So, we got this all done. Thing of beauty. So, it's all brazed up all the way around. We brazed it down here. The bracket was split in half here. That was brazed together. Brazed it all up in here, all the way around. Looks beautiful. Here, if you, I don't know, it probably showed on the video if you look, but there was a hole here. So it was super thin, had a hole in it. And so what I did was I took a piece of just scrap 3/16 plate and I tack welded it down here on the bottom. I tacked it in the middle, tacked it up here against this bracket, and then I hammered it over, and we got it about almost, 50% around the pipe here. And then we just welded it all in. I mean, it's super strong. It's not going anywhere. And it took care of the hole there and any cracks, because that's where it was cracking. And here is where it kind of tied it all together. So that's looking, I mean, nice. I like it. Turned out good. I think it should hold up to anything I'm going to do. And then I also noticed this one here is the foot brake cable, and this is the parking brake cable. The parking brake cable is completely seized, locked up. It goes to the hand lever up there on the handlebars. This one, however, is, well, it works. You can see the foot brake going up and down there. So I need to lube that up. This is crusty and rusty and gross, but I'm going to go take some 10W30, fill that thing up. This boot is pretty wrecked. I might be able to put some electrical tape around it and zip tie it on better, so it's not cracked down here, and this is fine, but up here it's all busted up. If not, going through my junk I never throw away, this is the front brake cable that we replaced. But that boot is only like, an inch, so that won't work. This, however, is shift linkage off of a 90s OBS Chevy pickup truck, shift linkage for it, and this boot is definitely big enough, and it's zip tied on both ends, so I could probably maybe do something with it. I mean, it definitely wouldn't hold. I think it might work. So see what I can do with that. The rear end, I'll throw the bearings and the seals into it, and I need a seal that goes over the dust shield, and we'll pop the brakes on. So that's all that's left, is to quick throw the bearings and seals in it, and then bolt it up and make sure that all the new hardware I got, it lined up, so everything should be good. We just need to throw it in and kind of clean it up and see if it works. So let me get that all together. All right, I got the bearing and seal on this side. Then what you have is a through pipe here and a ladybug. Hi, ladybug. So, you know, they're not red. I clean it up. I wire wheel them off, and I primer them, just that red iron oxide primer, because, well, I like putting things back together better than how they came apart. And instead of using a piece of pipe, I just got aluminum drift and tap the bearing all the way around, and then, you know, bearing seal, and the bearing sits down in there's a little lip right here. It just hits up against that, so pipe goes in, and it's just like the front end when we did the front end. And here is one of the bearings that came out of it, and it looked okay, but if you listen, it is definitely crunchy. So it's a good thing we did that. So let me put those ones on. Boom, boom, boom. Tap it all around. You'll hear when it hits there, it goes from a kind of like a high pitch noise to a lower pitch noise. You can tell it. Anyways, you guys probably know what you're doing anyways. Let me get that all put together, and we'll go get it bolted back in. Ooh, purdy. So there we go, bolted in. Oh, bolted in. Don't have it tight yet because we still need to put the axle shaft through. But I thought you might like this. That's the brake cable, right? And so you can see what I did was I just filled it right here full of oil and just let it drain all the way out. I just tucked it up here. I don't know. Thought that was pretty slick. Maybe everybody does it. I don't know. But that was cool for me. So let me get the axle shaft in. It's got the new bearings, new seal. I'll put a little, I don't know, I like putting a little oil on there just so you don't tear the seal, but, you know, wipe a little oil on there, and then slide the axle shaft through, and brakes, and yeah. So let's get it all back together. Boom. All right, chains on, axle shaft is in. I've got 3/4 of an inch of play, kind of, give or take. It looks good. I mean, we'll take it for a rip so everything gets all settled in, and then we'll take a look at it again. So no, this is not a new sprocket. None of this is new. This is what was underneath the mud. So it cleaned up pretty nice, and yes, I know, and I'm sure a few of you caught it, this is supposed to have an adjuster here. It's like a bolt, and then it comes out here, and then you got the nut. I couldn't find it, so we went this route. If there's a problem with it, we'll figure something else, but I don't see why this wouldn't work. And then we got the brakes on there. So next is brake drum, and then the nuts and dish. This washer is dished. The dish side goes out, and then you have your two nuts here, and then the dust shield goes on, or I mean the dust shield goes on, then that, And that's at, according to Honda, that is 50 foot-pounds. Same thing with that end of that nut is 50 foot-pounds. So then we're all done, and then we can hook up the brakes and make sure it works. But everything here is working. So there's no reason why we won't have rear brakes. We can stop. So let me get that all together, and we'll be back. It's all coming back together. All right, 50 foot-pounds, check. 50 foot-pounds, maybe check. I need to put the tires on, and we'll just put the wrench on there, the ratchet on there, the torque wrench. Okay, so I was gonna fix this boot for the brakes. The cable's stretched. It works. Okay, it works. It stops. Well, it stops the axle from me spinning it. The parking brake cable is, I mean, just, it's seized. I can't move it. I'm not gonna even, I'll set it in there, but it should be okay. Just keep it out of the way. So I need to get cables. This thing, yeah, this bottom one stretched. So like I said, I'll just go get some cables. They're not expensive. If I went through all of this, just buy a cable, right? Okay, so however, it'll be enough for a test drive. Last thing I need to do is this thing. This is the breather. It goes on the top here, a little nipple, and that thing was, when I pulled it off, water and mud came out. So what I am going to do is just blow a little air through there. And it actually comes out like the other end of this comes out below the gas tank. And I can hear that it's blowing through, pushed out a chunk of mud. So that's clear. All we have to do is push it on, maybe. Come on. I know you want, oh, I got you turned wrong. There we go. Okay, so that's on. All we have left to do is put on the tires, and that's it. I think we're finished with this rear end rebuild. Let me get the tires on, and we'll do a little rock around. All right, everything's all back together. Man, is it looking good. I really like this three-wheeler. So it's all fixed. It's all welded up. It's all nice and tight. You know, when originally I thought that the bearings were bad in it, I mean, they were crunchy, obviously, but that frame, I think, is what was really causing that flexing, because if I move it now, I mean, that's a rock. The only thing you feel in there is the tires giving. So it's all together. Like I said, those cables are trash. The brakes work, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna lube up that chain definitely, and well, I think we can call the rear end done. So next time, what I would like to do is, I noticed last time when I was riding it around, I was down the hill there when we were gonna adjust the front brakes, and it started kind of, it wasn't revving out, and then it cleared up and it went away. So I'm wondering if that doesn't have something to do with it. So that is, I believe on this year, that is your advance and your retard for your timing, and there's springs in there, and I wonder if either A, the springs are bad, or B, seeing kind of how everything's been rigged on this thing so far, they didn't wire them, or maybe it's just gummy and sticking up, because it cleared up. So I'd like to take that off next time, and then I keep saying I'm gonna do the pull start. We are gonna do the pull start. I really want to do skid plates on it, but those two I think need to come next. And then I noticed, and the reason why I think skid plates is because A, the way the trails I ride is, it's a lot of boondocking and, you know, enduro stuff. You kind of make your own trails on your own property. So I'd like a skid plate here, front fender definitely, but back here, At least on this vintage one, there was supposed to be a chain guard. I'm fine with not having a chain guard on there. However, there was supposed to be a skid plate here. I believe there was a skid plate that went there, and in fact there's tabs and bolts that are there. So I would like to build a skid plate, because I think maybe that's how this got ripped off. Some log or something got up in there, and I don't know. So I want to do skid plates. However, I need to be practical, and I need to get this thing running as good as it possibly can. I also, I mean, I think maybe those rings are seating, and it's because it doesn't seem to be burning as much oil. But we'll want to dig into that, and then yeah, that'll be next video. So till then, be blessed. I appreciate you for watching. You're great people, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.